Okay, hopefully you've taken a small break. Okay, so on the last one, we just found our big rectangle. We had to find that missing part, which ended up being 7. So that way I know I'm not getting the whole thing. I just want this piece right here. So I did the 10 minus the 3 to get the 7. And I can add them together to see that I actually do get the 10. Okay, and so the base of the rectangle is 7. All right, now let's do the small rectangle. Okay, so this is also a rectangle. And I'll just call it the small one so I know which one I'm looking at. The formula for a rectangle, your formula says on the formula chart, base times height. So the base of your small rectangle is 6.5, which is also the same as the top. And the height of your small rectangle, okay, is 3. So all you have to do is multiply 6.5 times 3, and you will get 19.5, and it'll be feet squared. Okay, so I want all of it. Okay, I want this piece plus this piece. It did not say that I didn't want anything. So I'm going to add these together. Okay, and then after I add these together, don't forget I have this cost right here. Okay, I'm using this at the end. So don't forget you will use this last. Okay, because you want to find out how much is it going to cost to get the whole thing. All right. So you're going to use it last, and what you're going to do is you're going to multiply. Okay, so don't forget that you're going to do this. So I'll write that down so that way I don't forget. Okay, so, but first I got to find out the area. Okay, I want both, so I'm going to take both areas and add them together. So it's going to be 91 plus 19.5. Remember, you have to line up your decimals. Put a 0 there. You will get 110.5, but that is just your area, so you're not done because you want to know how much will it cost. So after you've done this, you're going to find how much it costs by multiplying by the price, and the price is $1.50. So I'm going to do 110.5, which is what I just got for my area of the whole thing, which is what I normally do. But then I have this extra number, and I'm going to multiply. So it's going to be 110.5 times 150. And so you will have a final answer of 165.75. Number 8. A Ferris wheel has a diameter of 90 feet. What is the approximate distance traveled by a person who rode the Ferris wheel for 6 complete revolutions? You must know what revolutions are. Okay, that's like going around something. And so if I'm going around, that is basically the definition for circumference. So I will write that down. So revolutions is basically circumference. Why? Because circumference is the distance around something. All right, so I'm dealing with circumference then. So it says you have a diameter of 90 feet. So basically it goes the whole way, and that is 90. So I'm using circumference because that's what revolutions means. The formula for circumference, you have 2 pi r and pi times d. Well, if they give you the diameter, I would usually just go ahead and use the one that has the d in it for diameter. So that would be pi times d. And then just plug in what I have. Well, pi is always 3.14. The diameter, they said, is 90. Okay, and so just multiply 3.14 times 90. I will get the answer, which is 282.6. Now, that is one circumference, so that is one revolution. Make sure you know that. But you don't want just one. They said they want 6. Okay, so make sure you know that. They want 6. So what I'm going to do is just multiply what I have for 1 by 6. So it's going to be 282.6 times 6, because I want 6 of these. And you will get an answer of 1,695.6. okay, because you want 6 of those revolutions, not just 1, okay. Number 9, Laura is cutting her freshly made mini pizza into quarter circles. If the diameter of the full pizza is 5.4 inches, what is the area of each quarter circle rounded to the nearest hundredth? Use 3.14 for pi. Okay, so I want to, on this one, I'm going to find the radius first. Usually that's what I always do. The radius is always first because that's what every one of them have in common. So I'll find the radius first. Then I'm going to plug it into the formula for the quarter circle. Okay, so I'm going to find the radius first. Then plug in to formula for quarter circle. Okay, remember that's the one you had to memorize because it's not on your formula chart. All right, so I'm going to find the radius first. All right, they said the diameter is 5.4. So if that's the diameter, I find the radius by dividing by 2. So I'm going to do 5.4 on the side, divided by 2 to get the radius, and I will get 2.7. Okay, and that is the radius. Remember your quarter circle, I'm going to write this down. Your quarter circle uses and is made up of a whole lot of these radius. So it has to be the radius, okay, for the quarter circle. So once I do that, I'm going to plug my radius in because that's what I wanted to find. Once I find the radius, usually I'll just plug it into what I want. I want the area of a quarter circle. Okay, so the area for a quarter circle, the formula is pi r squared divided by 4. So A equals pi, which is 3.14. The radius I found by dividing the diameter by 2, and that was 2.7. So put that where the r is. And then squared. Don't forget you're going to divide by 4 because it is a quarter circle. A equals, take care of your exponent first, so 2.7 squared. So leave 3.14 as it is. You're going to do 2.7 squared multiplied by itself, because that's what squared means. Okay, then you're going to divide by 4. Okay, keep going. A equals 3.14 times 2.7 times 2.7. Well, that is 7.29. Okay, divide by 4. Okay, then we're going to take care of the top first. That's the order in which we go. So that is going to be 22. 22.8906. Then we still have to divide by 4. Okay, once I take these and divide by 4, I will come up with an area that equals 5.72265. Okay, but it says to round to the nearest hundredth, so I got to make sure I know how to round. You look for the hundredths place, that's tenths, hundredths. So this 2 is in the hundredths place, so I look behind it. That's not big enough to change the 2 into a 3, so the 2 stays the same. So the answer is going to be A equals 5.72 inches squared. Okay. Okay. Number 10 says Jabari plans to seat 15 of his co-workers around a circular table that has a diameter of 9 feet. If he spaces them out evenly, how much distance will be in between each person? Okay, so around a circular table, remember around basically means circumference because that's what circumference means, the distance around something. So we're going to be dealing with circumference and not area. So I'm going to be using the formula for circumference. Remember, I have two choices, 2 pi r or pi times d. They both get me the same thing as long as I plug it in correctly. But usually I'll plug in whatever I have. I'll use that one. So if they gave me the diameter, I'm going to use the one that has the d in it. So it's going to be c equals pi times d. I'm going to use that one. So I'm going to plug in what I have. So c equals pi, which is always 3.14. And the diameter, they say, is 9 feet. Okay, so you just multiply those, 3.14 times 9, you will get 28.26, and that'll be feet. It is not square because it's just the circumference. Okay, now we do have another number here. It says if he spaces them out evenly, how much distance will be in between each person. So, well, space them out evenly, okay, means divide. And that's what we're going to do with this extra number that is there. So make sure you know you're not done, because you want to know what is it between each. Okay. So we are going to divide. So we're going to do 28.26, which is what we got for the circumference, and divide by the amount of people that there are, or the other number that's there. So 15. If I do that correctly, I will get 1.884. Okay. All right. So I got 1.884, and that is closest to 1.88, okay, because they didn't tell us to round, but if we did, we would get 1.88 if we round to the nearest hundredth.